Good question. Well, I've noticed something over the years. Almost everybody begins the estate planning conversation with the same question. Do we need a trust? Or isn't our will enough? And those are reasonable questions, but I think they're the wrong ones. A better question is this: what experience do we want our family to have because of our planning today? When people hear estate planning, they immediately begin thinking about all the legal documents, the wills, the trust, the power of attorney, the healthcare directives. Those documents really matter, but they're not the purpose of estate planning. They're just simply the tools. The real purpose is far more personal. It's trying to make one of life's most difficult seasons a little easier for the people you love. Think about that. If something happened tomorrow, would your spouse know where everything is? Who would your children call? Do they know? Would your family understand your wishes? Would they be forced to make difficult decisions while grieving, or have you laid it out for them? Would your planning quietly guide them through this difficult time? That's what thoughtful estate planning accomplishes. So as families become more successful, life becomes more complicated. You may own a business, you may own properties, you have retirement and investment accounts, maybe there's charitable goals, oftentimes there's blended families, there's oftentimes grandchildren, there's adult children who are very financially responsible, and then there's oftentimes that one that isn't. Suddenly the question becomes no longer who gets what, but instead it's how do we protect my spouse? How do we treat children fairly when fair doesn't mean equal? How do we transfer wealth without creating a dependency? How do we minimize taxes? How do we preserve family harmony? How do we ensure that someone can make financial and healthcare decisions without us? Those aren't legal questions, those are life questions, and the legal documents simply bring those decisions to life. So one of the things I enjoy about working with families is to help them realize that estate planning isn't really about preparing for death. It's about preparing your family for life. And here's what I've learned. Families rarely remember how sophisticated your trust was. What they remember is whether everything was organized, whether there was confusion or conflict, whether your planning reflected your values. So to me, that's your real legacy, not simply the assets that you leave behind, but the clarity, the thoughtfulness, the kindness, the preparation. Years ago, someone shared a phrase I've never forgotten. It says, your estate plan is your final love letter to your family. I think that's true, because good planning says something without even saying a word. It says, I cared enough to make this easier for you. And so I can't think of a better reason to plan. At Purple Wealth, we spend very little time asking, do you need another legal document? Instead, we're asking, what do you want your family to experience? Because that answer is clear. The legal strategy usually becomes clear too. In the end, thoughtful planning isn't about just protecting your money. It's about protecting the people your money was meant to serve.